Hey everybody, welcome to another video I'm doing. I wanted to do a video on, Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about failure and success. I almost forgot. You know, when we're young, when we're growing up, we are taught that failure is a bad thing, right? Avoid failure at all costs. But what if I told you failure was actually the key to success? Most people, when they think of failure, they think, well, number one, failure is something that you want to avoid at all costs. Like, do not fail. Whatever you do not failure. Failure is a bad thing. And that failure tends to be, I think people think of failure as like an end-all be-all, right? Like, if you fail, it's over. You're a loser. You know, forget it, right? You're never going to get good at something because you're failing. Because a lot of time when you fail, you can be really hard on yourself. You feel like you're not good enough. You're never going to get to this success, this achievement that you're trying to get to. So I'm here to tell you that that idea of failure is a lie, absolute lie, and that failure is not only, like this title says, more important than success, but that failure is actually, you can't avoid failure. You can't avoid it, and that it's an integral part of success. The thing about failure is that it teaches you way more than you could ever learn from success. Each failure shows you what not to do, how to improve, and is constantly guiding you to the success. And you know, like I said, like failure teaches you way more than you could ever learn from success. And an example, I used to do stand-up comedy. I was big in it. I did it for like 3 to 4 years. When I would go on stage, and I would bomb, I would do bad, I would fail, I would learn so much about myself, the set, the jokes. But if I did well on stage, if I succeeded, I almost didn't really learn anything. You know, a lot of the time I feel like when we succeed, when we do well, there isn't really a lot of learning going on, you know, because I think a lot of it is just you're so hyped and you're so into the high and the euphoria of succeeding that you don't really notice why you succeeded or what you did to succeed, which is the same thing I just said twice. But failure gives you way more information. You know, like I said, tells you what not to do, what to improve. Failure is part of the process. And this is something that I had to learn during doing stand-up. You know, when I got into stand-up, I thought that, like, the greats, you know, like Louis C.K. or Chris Rock or, you know, Seinfeld or whatever, I thought that they just never bomb. Like that they, you know, when they first started out, they were bombing, but once they got to a certain level, they just never bomb. And that's absolutely not true at all. You have to bomb on stage to know what's funny. A lot of the time when you're first working out stuff, it's not going to be that funny. And I had to learn this doing stand-up because, again, I thought like, oh, you know, every time I would fail, I would think, man, I'm a loser. Man, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. But I learned that, oh, every failure, like failure, bombing is part of this. Like failure is part of the process. It isn't this anomalous thing that you just want to avoid. It isn't this like, you know, thing that you're just trying to stay away from. It really is an integral part of succeeding. Because like I said, you don't know what you don't know until you fail. And in fact, failure is almost like success in disguise. Because, you know, I think, again, we think of failure as like against us, you know. But really, failure and success are working in tandem. They're working together to help you get to where you see yourself in your head, to that vision that you have of whatever endeavor you're, you know, doing. Each failure brings you one step closer to success, and that without failure, you couldn't reach your goal. Think of like evolution, right? For 2 billion years, this planet had nothing going on, like in terms of life. There was like no life on this planet, right? Nothing for 2 billion years. And then through the processes that we learned about in science, we started to get life. But it didn't just pop out as like a perfect human, right? It took a lot of trial and error to get the diversity that we see today. And if evolution never failed, we wouldn't be here right now. Like, we wouldn't be having this experience if it wasn't for the fact that evolution failed. Because as you know, the way evolution works is that it just tries a bunch of different things. Like, what will work? And the environment then dictates what works because those things survive. And if evolution just never took these chances, I mean, who the fuck knows where we'd be? You want to look at failure as a tool for success. It isn't a, you know, I think like people view it as like an obstacle, and it's not an obstacle. It's a sign you're on the right track. You know, I mean, one of the what's the one example, right? The Thomas Edison example where he, you know, what is it? It took him like 1,000 tries to get the light bulb. I don't know if that's actually true. It probably wasn't 1,000, but the point is, he literally failed 999 times before he got what he was, you know, the light bulb, which, you know, we all still use today. And if he wouldn't have failed all those times, I mean, we'd probably be in the dark, or, you know, still using whale fat to light the candle, because that's what they were, right? It was whale fat or something. I don't know. I wasn't there when they were doing that, but I heard about it, so it's probably true. You want to look at failure as like a tool for growth, and that it shapes your success. It literally shapes you into something better. So it's important to remember that success and failure are, in fact, very subjective. Success to one person might be failure to somebody else. And so it's really important that whenever you are going to embark on any kind of endeavor, creative endeavor, some sort of endeavor at work, whatever it is, a relationship, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you define within yourself what success means to you. They're within you. Success is subjective to you. Every failure that you have is going to nudge you in the right direction to get to that success. Failure can never win. It can win the battles, but it can never win the war, right? But there actually is only one way that failure can win, and that is if you give up. That is the only way that failure will ever win. And even then, failure isn't really winning. It's just kind of put on hold because you gave up, you know? Like, you might view my comedy career, I made some money, but I wasn't like, you know, balling. But you could look at my comedy career as a failure. Like, I failed, right? And I could look at that because I gave up. I gave it up, right? But I could also look at it as I learned a lot about myself. I gained a lot of skills and tools doing stand-up, and I was able to then apply that to a different medium. And so is it a failure? Is it success? I mean, again, it's subjective, right? It's all going to be within you and how you view yourself and what your goals are. So to recap this video, I just want to point out a couple of things here. So failure is not something to avoid. Failure is something you want to embrace and listen to the failures, because they are screaming at you. They are always guiding you and putting you in the right direction to the success. You learn more from failure than you can ever learn from success. And that failure is your friend, not your enemy. Success and failure are working together, not against each other. They're working together for you to get to where you see the vision, right? Of whatever it is. It could be creative, it could be work, it could be relationships, it doesn't matter. It's always guiding you in the right direction. So the next time you fail, the next time you're in it and you're trying to succeed and you fail, just remember that you are one step closer to success, not one step away from it. And I went under my armpit when I did that, so sorry if that looked weird. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting to this part of the video. Put in the comments if you guys have any insights, anything you could add to this. I'd love to hear your stories of failure and success, and any insight, any advice you could give to other people. It's always welcome in the comment section. Like I said, I love this idea of how failure is like integral part of success, and you can't have one without the other, and they're not enemies. They're working together. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. That's it. We gotta go.